Managed to get some fresh air in here today. And started doing odd little bits of cleaning uppy stuff. I want to just show you. This keg we think is now sealing, but what a state it got into before it did. This is going to be, I think, thank you, one of the grottiest kegs. But once it's properly cleaned it out, I'm going to empty it again later today and then fill it full of water again. It is still losing quite a lot of water, but if you can just see my finger there, it's not losing anywhere near what it was. If I don't trip myself up, we'll be good. Right, today it's Sunday the 21st of February, and this time next week will be the last day of February. So we're thinking of doing an Easter, we're thinking of doing another lambic, and then the last one will be an Easter lambic at the end of March. So the lambic we got upstairs, I should say lambic style, that we've got upstairs, will be going in that barrel probably in about 3 or 4 weeks. It's a really slow starter. I'm building a frame for the cool ship because at some point we're going to be take it over to Retford, because we need a balance of canal lambics. Never mind, it wasn't that funny. I'm going to knock the hole in here today, and then at some point over the next few days, because Charlotte's got a few days off, we're going over to see Chris, and so he can work his underneath magic. You know, I'm talking some crap. So that will be the HLT done. Then it's not a bad day, but there's little elements of rainy bitses. Have got a problem here that might at some point require having all these windows replaced. They were only knocked up by Richard when we bought it. As he said, I only knocked it up briefly. This is a bit of a worry. I'm going to get in here, clean this, put some concrete filler in. We don't actually need this rope on here at the moment. That's purely at the moment a decorative item. And then I'm just going to use some bituminous paint. At some point we're going to strip the whole of this waff off. When we open this as a club, it won't be this won't be accessible to mops or members. How does that, mops, members of public, NHS term is slightly less complimentary. So yes, clean all this off at some point and use some really thick bituminous paint, especially along the edges here where it meets the building. We haven't had too much ingress, but you know, and this here, as you can see, we are getting odd little bits of rain today, but this is what I think I'm going to mainly do today. Clean all this back, get a wire brush on there, and then depending on how bad I think it is, either just splosh it with bituminous paint if it's not going to rain, or fill it with some concrete filler that we've got. And again here, and there's another little bit somewhere else. So that will be today. We've got a bit of a crack going on down there, if you see. So I think what we'll do is we'll move all of the salvaged kegs and put them somewhere, probably here or something, and then I'll get the wire brush on the angle grinder down there if it doesn't rain. And then a lot of these pallets are going to need breaking up, because I want these ones here came from our John over there, and I wanted them to age a little bit. They're good quality pallets, but they all need breaking up. These I've already broken these up, but they need me magic little nail remover gun. Pop all those nails out. Some will remember from a couple of years ago I did a quiz and asked people what they thought it was. These already broken down and denailed, and again should be really nicely kind of like weathered. These are now ready to go indoors and dry out properly. Then I'll be putting them together and then making signs. I'll be having these for sale on Made by Martin. These planters. Look at these spring onions. I planted those a year and a half ago, or about a year ago. We've still got some tomatoes as well. They're not doing right well. I think this all needs clearing out. Roz, if Roz ever watches this, how good has that done? It's done marvellously well. Right, it's not going to be a massive vlog for today. It's mainly going to be cleaning, and if it doesn't rain, I think it's trying to brighten up. It's difficult to tell. It's nice and mild, but I think I really need to start clearing up the waft down here. So I think probably what we'll do is move some of these planters first and get the wire brush out. There's also, when we do the lambic next week, I'm tempted, I've got a gazebo with some mesh sides, so I'm tempted to strap it down somewhere over here and have an outside overnight spontaneous fermentation. And I might, for the Easter one, I might rest that on some raspberries. Okay, I'm going to do some work today then, instead of just twiddling on. I've got a couple of meetings online where people are going to discuss what Boris is going to say tomorrow. That'll be fun, because nobody knows, including Boris. I'm having one of those moments where I'm not completely convinced that the marking I've put on here is going to work. If I look through, that's going to be like the centre there. I think it's going to need to go up quite a bit. I could put it, it doesn't, if it was right near the edge, it wouldn't matter too much if I can get the tri-clamp on. Like that way, that orientation round. So in other words, it'd be kind of like that, I'm guessing. Because otherwise, at this depth here, let's move this out of the way. I thought I had a tape measure. Obviously it's in the pocket to the side. Let's just get this out and have a quick measure. You see that there? I don't know. That's 2.5 inches. There's going to be no room on the inside. I'm going to have to put it up higher. So I'm guessing if I go, and also to make it easier for young Christopher, I think somewhere there. Whoops. Somewhere-ish there. As long as I can still sit this on a, flat surface and not have too much ball ache getting the tri-clamp on. I think that's going to have to be moved up. Right. Fuck me, I just had 2 more messages come through. They show up on here, but I've turned it on to, I've turned the sound off. Oh, it's going to be a long day. Well, there's a fair bit of fanning around. This is where I'd originally planned. Then I thought I'd go up here, and then I measured it with this. And no, it's going to have to go there. All I'm going to do now is drill it out 1/2 mil at a time up to 10.5 mils. Punch to 24. Check first before punching the 24, and then see if the triclover fitting will pop in there. The question usually has to be posed. How many drill bits did I break in the manufacture of this here oil? And today, none. Went up 1 mil at a time, and it's still at last. This was just the last from 10.5 up to 10.5. So tough old things. These here kegs, but I couldn't remember what size ale, so I had to go and check with my original, and I think it is the 24. Bloody better be. And putting a die through this thickness, the question is, how do you avoid stripping the thread on that? I mean, that is sort of like real heavyweight, and the answer is you just use lots of whatever grease you've got. This is the Halford spray grease, but any grease, really lather it on, and do it gradually with, and this is my, because obviously once I put an Allen key on there, I'm never going to get the leverage, so that's what that comes in handy for. Burglars beware. I've always got an Allen key. Marley, be quiet. Let's get that hole punched. There's a lot of force goes into that. Now I'm going to have to think about what size I'm going to put in the bottom for the bottom takeoff, but we'll look at how this is going to align first. So this is our look at that. How's that, Chris? Now the issue's going to be going from there. Actually, it might not be. So that's too many. That might work going into a street, going straight into a street there, and then welding the street in at an angle. So I might be better off putting the street here. I don't have a threaded bar the right length, but yeah, have a little look. I've got a piece of this stainless steel, part of a sort of spine thingy, you know, the thing that dips down into a keg, which fits perfectly into there. It depends whether it's, I mean, I think Chris said that would weld, because he welded a extension on his own dip tube. So here is, so that will go in there, but it needs to go in like we did last time, so it's straight. But that actually is not far off, is it? Obviously we'll put a thing on there to check. So if that was pre-welded in there and then put through, and then that welded there, cut off here, obviously going into, it's not, might need to get a die grinder in there, but that then goes in there at a sort of angle, or bends this somehow. So put a slight bend in this. There's probably enough spare on there for me to experiment with. Put a slight bend on that, as long as I don't kink it. Yeah, so out of there, little bend, going straight into the street, and then this can go at an angle. Right, that's good. I'm always distracted because I hate this. There's always plenty of pretty girls walking up and down the towpath, distracting me. It's not fair. It's bloody lovely though. I don't think I'm going to get to do the wharf today. There's odd little bits of I'm not even going to film her, of oh, odd little bits of rain keep sort of like splashing. So yes, I think we've probably got an answer there, Christopher. Please do give me your opinion, whatever, and I can always punch a hole in here ready. I think it doesn't need to go right in the centre, so going somewhere like here, yeah, alright, I'm happy with that now. I'm going to stop buggering about with that. I'm going to wait and see what feedback I get from Mr. Haddison Hawks and punch a hole in there, and then hopefully line it up. Don't bugger it up too much. That's probably a 21. Yeah. Actually, I could probably do with a smaller one. Not sure I've got a smaller one. Oh dear. Right, we'll come back to that anyway. I think, given the length that this rubbish has gone on for, I'll call it a day now, shall I? I've got some more little Zoomiverse meetings to go through, because everyone's panicking about tomorrow and how we let the country be grown-ups again, instead of treating them like children, or just treating them like peasants who don't deserve to be informed or kept in the loop in any way. So yes, a few bits of cleaning later. Until next time, boys and girls, give me your thoughts on the bottom takeoff for the HLT, and whatever you're doing, do it safe and have a good of what's left of Sunday. Cheers.